Hello and welcome to Alcohol in U.S. Society. My name is Sarah Ryman. I will be the instructor for the course for this semester, and I've put together just a brief little PowerPoint to go over some of the main points of the course. So let's get started. This slide provides a description of the course, what we will generally be going over and discussing throughout the 8 weeks that we're together. It also can be found in more detail in your syllabus, but basically we're going to be discussing the use and abuse of alcohol from the perspective of psychology, physiology, sociology, medicine, counseling, law, and public health. We're going to be looking at various research and trends in the treatment of alcohol abuse and dependence, and we'll also be looking at the history, the etiology and effects of alcohol, and what are some of the current treatment practices. We also will be looking at alcohol throughout the lifespan and also exploring it in relation to gender, how it affects families, race, age, the workplace, and as well as from a public safety perspective. I just wanted to provide you with a little bit of information about me and who I am and my background. So I have my Master's of Social Work from the University of Maryland School of Social Work. I'm also a licensed clinical therapist or clinical social worker. Much of my clinical experience is in adult and child mental health. I have worked with individuals with mental health disorders in many different settings, the criminal justice setting, medical setting, and in private practice. I also have, on a larger scale, macro experience. I do program and policy analysis. I work with program development and implementation, management. I have a lot of experience in child welfare, practice and policy, research, evaluation, quality assurance, mostly in child welfare and behavioral health. I am currently a health policy analyst at the for the state of Maryland at the Maryland Health Department. And I work with behavioral health policy related to mental health and substance abuse. Some of the pictures I have here, of course, is myself and a picture with my family, my husband and my 2 boys. I have a 12-year-old and a 7-year-old. This is an old picture. They're young in those pictures. And some of the things I like to do, which I think I explain on the next slide. So again, my current work, I work for the health department, specifically the Behavioral Health Administration, where I develop and manage federal block grants related to mental health and substance abuse programs. So I monitor programs that are funded with federal dollars across the state. In addition to being an adjunct faculty here at UMGC, I'm also adjunct faculty at Harford Community College and the University of Maryland School of Social Work. At Harford, I teach Introduction to Sociology as well as Social Problems, and Social Problems is a special course that I teach, and it's specifically for new cadets in the Harford County Sheriff's Academy that are required to take a social problems course as part of their training to become a police officer, or a sheriff rather. And then at University of Maryland School of Social Work, I teach a variety of classes, mostly social policy, and also specifically behavioral health policy. I've also taught social research methods. And in the past, I've taught at Howard Community College, also Introduction to Social Work. And again, I think I've told you I'm married. I have 2 kids, 2 boys, 12 and 7, and I enjoy soccer, well, European football, dancing, reading, puzzles, spending time with my family. We do have a dog and a cat. We have a pit bull mix named Coco and a tuxedo cat named Cam. Okay. One of your first assignments is going to be to introduce yourself to me. In the platform, when you go into your course, you'll see that one of your first week's assignments is to introduce yourself, and this involves creating a post in the forum using your name as the subject line and an introduction to yourself. And there's a couple of things that I ask of you, and it's tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your major? If you're working, what job you have, why you chose to enroll in this course, one thing you hope to learn by the end of the course, and then you can include anything else you would like us to know about yourself, and any pictures. I know a lot of you are either in the military or had been in the military, so if you're living somewhere other than Maryland, I'd love to hear where everybody is from. In past courses, I've had people from all over the world, so it's really kind of fun for me to hear where you guys are from. So you can read more about the details of this little assignment in your syllabus, and also when you log on to your course, it explains it all. And in this PowerPoint, we'll discuss a little bit about how the course structure is. So getting started, if you haven't already gone in and kind of looked around the learning system, you might want to do that before the course gets started, just to familiarize yourself with it. I do it the week before classes. Even though usually I teach every semester, I kind of sometimes forget things, so I just go back in and kind of navigate around a little bit and refamiliarize myself with the different tabs. But everything's really pretty user-friendly in this system. But on the course home tab, there's an announcements, announcements page. And I use this a lot to communicate. I'll put various kinds of messages there. Usually I try to do an announcement every week, just kind of saying, hi, welcome to this week. Here's what we got going on. So, and I believe you get those announcements right away. I think you get an indication through your email that there's a new announcement. There's a content tab that contains most, that will be the tab that you probably use the most. That contains an overview of the entire course. That's where your syllabus is, and there is a menu on the left-hand side there with all of your weekly modules. And all the resources you need for your course. Within those weekly modules, you'll see they're labeled, they're organized by week. So within each one, you'll have everything you need for that week. It'll tell you all of your reading requirements, all of the activities for that week. So if you have a quiz or you have a discussion board or whatever's due that week, it'll be in that folder, all laid out for you very nicely. Any other resources you need for that week, if there's additional supplemental readings, they'll be listed there separately from your required ones. There's also a resource tab that contains information that you can go to get information about all the different resources available to you. So Turnitin is one that we use. You don't have to use it, but it is a really good tool to use prior to turning in any assignments, especially written assignments, because it gives you an assessment of your writing, of your assignment, to see not so much plagiarism, but just gives you an assessment of how well your paper is written, if there are any similarities to other written assignments out there in the world, and it gives you kind of an assessment and feedback that you can use to either rewrite or revise your assignment, your paper. There's also resources about the library, the Writing Center, which is really a great resource if you have questions or issues, with your writing, you want to improve that, and also tutoring assistance. There's a class list tab, which is good to have because you can use that to email other students and email me. And it also has an instant message option. So if you go into that class list, you'll see a list of everyone in the class, including myself. And it'll have a little green icon, green light kind of symbol to indicate if the person is online. So if you're in the course and you see that someone's online, if you see I'm online and you wanted to instant message me, you could do that. Now I have to admit, I'm not always paying attention to that. The very best way, and I'll discuss this more in further slides, But the very best way to get a hold of me is to email me personally, with the school email. That's the best way. If you email me within the system, I'm not very good at checking that. I have to tell you right now, because although I try to go in every day and check, I don't check it every day. But the email, the school email, I get on my personal phone, so I see that much more regularly. So just to let you know that. And then there's a help tab, which you can go to for all other general health questions you may have. But you have plenty of resources at your fingertips, and everything is all along the top. All your tabs are along there. And then once you click on that, usually you have a menu on the left-hand side as well to help you out. So the course structure. So obviously this is an online class, and online, not virtual. So there's a difference. We will not be meeting virtually, like through Zoom or Teams or anything like that. It's strictly online. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not an opportunity if you feel like you need to see me or speak to me, or we can always set up a Zoom. We can set up a time to talk by phone if that's more helpful, but for the most part, everything is all online. So a lot of it is in your hands. And the class, there's a week that a class week is structured from Wednesday to Tuesday. So the reason they do this is because many times students don't get around to doing their work till the weekend, obviously, because work schedules, family schedules, whatever. So they give you those couple days in the beginning, the weekend, and then up until Wednesday. So your week doesn't start till Wednesday. So mostly all of your assignments will begin on a Wednesday and will be due midnight, 11:59 Tuesday. So Wednesday to Tuesday schedule. All times are Eastern Standard. So no matter where you are in the world, your assignments are due in this course at the time that we give, Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you're having, anytime you have difficulties or there's going to be a problem or you think something's going to be late or there's going to be an issue, just email me ahead of time, and we can work something out. Like I said before, each weekly module will contain all the information you need to complete your tasks for the week, all the resources that you need. And in general, this is what a module will include. Learning resources, learning activities, your discussions, tracking your progress. And everything's, like I said, everything's pretty user-friendly, very clear, pretty well laid out for you. So for the first week, here are some things that you probably should consider going over. The news tab for the class on the course homepage, if there's anything there, check that out. The Start Here section on the content page to learn about how to navigate Leo if you have never used this platform before. You definitely want to read the syllabus. That's on the content page to familiarize yourself with the classroom policies and expectations. Familiarize yourself with what kind of things you're going to be assessed on, timelines for things, when things are going to be coming up or due, so that you can kind of get, prepare yourself ahead of time to know when things might be due. Guidelines for online etiquette, since most of everything we're going to be doing is online, and a big part of your coursework is going to be discussion boards, where you're doing a lot of interaction and discussion between yourself and your classmates. You should be familiar with what the expectations are for online etiquette. And then you want to work your way through each of the components under the week 1 module, and it's all very well laid out for you, so you can just click on one at a time and just do them. And pay attention to the deadlines and check in frequently to see what, if anything, I've posted. I don't know, I should know this, but I don't. I know in some of the other platforms that I use, if I post something, like let's say I post an announcement, it it generates through the student's email right away that there's an announcement or there's something new has been posted in your course. I think it works the same way with this platform, but I'm not entirely sure. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, I would suggest, logging on at least once a day just to check to see, if there's anything new. But I'm pretty sure that it gives you notifications of when things have been posted. I think that the next slide might talk about the other requirements you have just in the very beginning for the academic integrity modules that you have to do. There are 3 of them. But it's also explained, if I don't have it in this PowerPoint, it's also explained in your week 1 module. So again, so another tab that's at the top is your assignments tab. That's where you'll find all the formal assignments that you have to do, like there are 2 kind of written assignments, and then there's the academic integrity things. But also in there, so with your assignments, you have the turn it in option to help you with feedback on your assignments. I've included a link here that gives you the guidelines for how students use Turnitin. So you might want to read about that and see what that can offer you and how to use that. But just remember, there's a link on the assignments tab for Turnitin where you turn your assignment in to Turnitin to review, but and I may or may not go in there and look at it. It's really mainly for you to get feedback on your assignment. That's not turning in the assignment. Some students have thought in the past that, oh, I turned it in to turn it in, and they think that they've turned in the assignment to me, but it's not. There's a separate tab in that same section where you actually turn in the assignment. But and then each of your assignments will have a rubric, which is a grading tool, and it will show you exactly what I'm looking at when I'm grading. So it's really good to look at that rubric and make sure that whatever you're submitting has those items in there, because that's what I'm going to be looking at when I'm grading. So you can know ahead of time what excuse me, what is expected in your assignment. Okay, so it's academic integrity. This is something that was new last semester, I believe. They have these modules that you have to complete, and there's 3 of them. 1, 2, and 6 are required, and you need an 80% to earn a certificate, and once you get your certificate, you need to upload it. I believe it gives you all the instructions on how to do that, and there's a folder for each one that we've included in there for you. There's 6 altogether, but you only have to do those 3. The other 3 are optional, and you can do them if you want. They're completely up to you. And then those 3, the optional ones, are located under the APA Citation and Style Resources module, which is, I think it's like one of the very last tabs on your menu to the left. A good thing to do is just go through all the things on your menu on your left just to see what they are, and I think it's the very last one. If you're not familiar with APA Citation, looking over that tab, resource tab, is really a good idea. Readings. So every week you're going to have readings, and I have to say there's a lot of them. And I have to tell you, I didn't create the curriculum, so I apologize in advance. But there is a lot. So you have readings from a text, and everything's online, but you can print it out if you're, some people don't do well reading on the computer, but you can print them out. Some of them are articles, supplemental readings. Some of them are optional. Some of them are in your required readings, so they will be the material, and there will be on the quizzes and exam. But all of it's available to you. If for some reason there's a broken link, occasionally there's a link that doesn't work, just let me know ahead of time, and I'll correct it. I try to go through and check them all out and make sure they're all working well, but sometimes I miss one. And I also I have they set up the platform ahead of time for me. So most of the things I don't put in myself. So I don't have, I didn't control it, but I can get it fixed if there is a problem. So just let me know ahead of time if there's something that's, a link that's not working, and I can look into that. But there are a lot of readings, so try to, prepare yourself, pace yourself. Good time management is really important to doing well in an online class. So we'll go over a little bit of what each of the components are in the course that you're going to be assessed on and that you're responsible for. So one of the big ones is discussion boards, and you're going to have one every week. I think there's 7 altogether, so you won't have one the last week, or the last week. Yeah, you shouldn't have one the last week, but so they're 15% of your grade. And the first bullet point, I have to look into that because I copied this PowerPoint from my other class, I teach a parenting class also, so I might have made a mistake in that. We'll have to double check the points because this class is a little different as far as the percentage that the discussion boards count towards. So, but it is 15% of your grade, and there'll be 7. And the main purpose of the discussion board is for you guys to have a conversation with each other, a discussion that shows your understanding of the material and the topic. I most likely will not comment on every single one of your comments, but that doesn't mean I'm not reading them all. I mean, it would be very hard for me to comment on every single one of your comments, especially when I have a class, most of the time this class or my classes have about 30 students in them. So it would be very hard for me to do that. But I do read them all, and usually I will respond with one post that addresses everyone's comments and sort of like a general feedback post as to your discussion, what I saw, or my observations and feedbacks from the discussion that you guys had. It's really a tool for you and for you guys to talk with each other and have a really good, strong discussion about the topic, whatever the topic is. So the discussion boards, you basically have 7 days, but they're broken up. So you have to make your initial response by Saturday. So like I said, the weeks are Wednesday to Tuesday. So by Wednesday morning, you'll know what your discussion topic is for that week. So by Saturday, midnight, 11:59, you will have to have posted your initial response to that discussion topic. And then, excuse me, the next part of that assignment is for you to respond to 2 of your classmates' posts. And that is due by Tuesday, the end of the week. So you have 3, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, almost 4 days to post your first response, and then Saturday or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days to post 2 responses to classmates. And basically, the responses should show that you read whatever was supposed to be read, or that you examined, or you comply the concepts that we've discussed in class or that were discussed in the readings. Your responses should be thorough, complete, intelligent, not just your replies to your peers shouldn't just be like, oh yeah, I agree, you were right. It should be it should have some substance. And there's also rubrics for the discussion board that is in your syllabus that you can also see what I will be looking at when I'm looking at your discussions. You can see, what your post should look like. And again, here you want to be thinking about online etiquette. And I've never had a problem with anyone. All of my classes have been, the students have great discussions. Everyone's very, polite and civil, and I've never had a problem, so I don't think that there will be this time around. Quizzes. Quizzes are 15% of your grade, and there will be a brief quiz weekly, so there'll be a total of 7 quizzes. quizzes are obviously open note and will be opened at the beginning of the class week, which is Wednesday, and they'll close at 11:59 on the last day of the week, which is Tuesdays. For each quiz, you'll have 2 attempts at each quiz, but they are 60 minutes to complete each quiz. So if you start your first attempt and you take the full 60 minutes and you're not satisfied with the way your outcome of that quiz, you can do your second attempt, but you will only have 2 at 60 minutes each. And each quiz will cover the content from the week before. And they'll be mostly multiple choice, I believe. So those are quizzes. Assignments for this course. So you're going to have 2 assignments. The first one is an experiential paper, which is worth 20% of your grade. And this is due the end of week 3. And this is basically an interview that you're going to do with either a friend or a family member or a coworker or somebody that you know, where you're going to administer 2 separate alcohol screening tools, and you're going to describe the experience of that. More details are in the syllabus for you, but it's just basically doing the screening tools and then conducting the interview and describing the experience. The second one is a social media campaign. It's a little bit more involved, but it is broken down into parts. So you're basically going to develop a social media campaign where you bring awareness to some kind of hazardous alcohol consumption or alcohol abuse situation or a phenomenon among a specific target population. So you're going to select what target population you want to look at, whether it be teenagers or, I don't know, elderly, veterans, Latino community, immigrants, any population that you choose or that you're interested in. And the social media campaign can be, a Facebook campaign or Instagram or Twitter, but whatever social media platform you want to use. And so at the end of the first week, you're going to identify your target population, your special population that you're going to be looking at. And there's again, this is all explained more specifically in the syllabus, but you're going to post, there's a discussion thread that you're going to post your population there. The end of the second week, you're going to post your bibliography, and the bibliography is basically a list of your references or resources that you're going to use to look at, research your population and their connection with alcohol consumption or abuse. The end of the fourth week, you're going to put together an outline of your campaign proposal. So outline how you're going to set up your campaign and what's involved in it. And then the end of the 6th week, you actually put everything together into your paper. And for both of these, there's a rubrics also set up for grading that you can look at ahead of time, so you know specifically what I'm looking for when I'm grading, so that you're not surprised. And so the experiential paper is 20% of your grade, and the social media campaign is 25% of your grade. The last assignment is the final exam, which is 25% of your grade. Again, it's open note, obviously. Again, it'll be posted on the first day of the week and close the last week of class, the last day of the week of class. All the questions will come from the relevant material that's been presented throughout the course, and it'll be a combination of true, false, multiple choice, matching, short answers, and there'll be like 1 or 2 short essays, but pretty simple. And as far as the time and on that, I'm still working on that, but it will be longer than 60 minutes. But we'll get back to you on that. And we'll talk more about that throughout the semester. So just some other things about the challenges of online learning. I don't know how many of you have taken online classes before, but it can be challenging, and it does kind of present a different approach. I am going to post like a little tip sheet in the announcements, which I'll do probably the first week of class. But some kind of pointers that they recommend for an 8-week course is just to expect to spend about 4 to 6 hours a week participating in the discussions, and about 10 to 12 hours studying or reading. And like I said before, there are a lot of readings, so you might want to think about that. And then communication is the most important thing. As long as you communicate with me and keep me up to date on anything that you got going on, I can work with you. Don't wait till the last minute. If something's going on, things happen in life. I understand because I'm living the same kind of life you are. I have kids, I have a family, I have a job. I'm not in school, but I'm teaching school. So, I understand things come up. Just communicate with me, and ahead of time, early enough, we can work together. Okay. And again, email is the best way to communicate with me. I can't guarantee. I tried, like I said before, I try to go on every day and look at the course, but there are days that I might not be able to. But I do look at my phone every day, so I can see my emails. I think I talked about this before, but just again, the general ground rules for dialogue and discussion: just always treat each other with respect. Again, the main purpose of the discussions is just to generate greater understanding about different topics. So, of course, all your perspectives are welcome, as long as you understand that everybody else's perspective is welcome also, and just to be open-minded and listen. Don't personalize the dialogue. Try to keep though it's very hard because a lot of, especially when I was teaching my parenting class, a lot of that's going to be personal because people are parents, and a lot of this may be personal. I think every single person at some point in their life has been touched by some kind of situation with alcohol or alcohol abuse by either a family member, a friend, themselves. So it's kind of hard not to be personal, but you can certainly share your personal experiences. We're open to that, and if people do that, please remember to be respectful. It's okay to disagree. It is okay to disagree, but remember that it's okay to disagree with each other, but let's agree to disagree and not argue. And everybody's expected to participate also, which I've never had a problem with that either. Grading, here's the grading chart table. It's pretty much the same for every school. This is also in the syllabus. Just, for your own sake, just keep track of like time periods with the school and registration. Like if you're planning to withdraw, you want to make sure you withdraw the proper times so that it doesn't mess up your GPA. I'm not sure how that works, but I know that if you withdraw at certain times, it's better than others. So just remember that, but that's there for your reference. The course schedule, it's provided in the syllabus. It's like the very end. Now, those dates are pretty accurate. There may be change. And of course, if there is always a possibility of an extension, or, if you need more time for something. But again, that is something that you need to discuss with me ahead of time, and we'll work something out if we need to. But for the most part, that schedule in the back, I try to give you dates for everything ahead of time, so you know ahead of time when things are due. And usually we give weeks, but I tried to put in specific dates, to be a little bit more specific. Some resources that are available. We do have the Ask the Professor. In the discussion section, you have a discussion tab where you'll be doing all your discussion boards, but within that, there's also Ask the Professor discussion board, which you can post stuff in there, and I'll try my very best to remember to look at it. I may not get back to it as quickly as email. But so if you have like a general question and you're not concerned about time and getting an answer urgently, you can certainly post there. And when you post something in there, it is visible to the other students. So sometimes I've had other students answer before I do, and that's fine. That's great. If you have specific questions that are more personal or that you don't want shared with everybody, definitely send that to me by email. And then again, I listed these 2 resources that I feel the students should know about. The Writing Center specifically. The thing I've come across the most with students is writing. You know, quality of writing, learning, understanding the formatting of writing, like APA format, which to some people it might not be something that you're going to need, if you're going into computers or, you're not going to be doing a lot of writing, but it's a good skill to learn, I think. And then tutoring assistance, it's free. So if you find that you need it, the resources there. So just some tips for success. Participate, because in this kind of format, that's how you're going to be graded. And participation is mostly going to be seen in your discussion boards, and how you communicate there and respond there. That's how I can see you. That's the best way in this online format that I can see your participation. Participate several times a week instead of doing all at one time. Do it, have several times that you're on. Plan your week. Time management is important. Things come up, and if you wait till the very last minute to do your paper, there's nothing wrong with that, but you never know what's going to come up that day. Something could come up and all your plans are out the window, so try to plan a little bit at least, and review the course syllabus ahead of time and announcements frequently. Look ahead, what's coming up. What you may even want to look at the we may be in week 1, but you may want to look at week 2 and 3 just to see what's there, so you can kind of prepare even mentally, like what's going on, and take advantage of the resources that we have here. UMGC has so many: Writing Center, research, library, tutoring. The library, I haven't looked at all the resources they have there, but the library is such a great resource. You can get almost anything there, and ask questions. Talk to me, communicate with me, ask me anything. There's no stupid question. There's no question that's too small or too big. And if I don't know the answer, I'll certainly try to help you find the answer. But what's more important is to ask me. Don't just say, "Oh, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm embarrassed," or it's, she's not gonna know, or, it's too late. Just always come and ask me. I mean, yeah, I might say no, or it's too late, but it's, it's worth a shot. It's better to ask than not, because we never know. And it's, we can help maybe circumvent some issues that, or try to prevent some issues that could have, been avoided.